So now we have reached the very end, and we would like to take this opportunity to listen to some of our co-organizing partners, to some of the speakers, to give us a few impressions, and then I think we can conclude the forum. So I will now hand over to our head of office, Mr. Nikolay Pomoshnikov, to moderate this short closing.
Thank you very much, Natalia. Dear colleagues, dear participants, I think for the last 3 days we had a very interesting and comprehensive discussion on different aspects of implementation of Sustainable Development Goals and Agenda 2030. We started our discussion with 2022 HLPF theme. Then we discussed the progress of 2030 agenda and VNRs. We review particular goals: SDG 4 quality education, SDG 5 gender equality, SDG 14 life below water, 15 life at land, and today we discussed also important issues on financing SDGs and sub-regional partnership, which very important for strengthening our cooperation for implementation of SDGs. And I would like now to have this to the table and to request some speakers and participants to share their views. First, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Ricardo Messiana, Sustainable Development Officer, Office of Executive Secretary of ESCAP. Over to you, Ricardo.
Spasiba, Nikolay. Добрый вечер, everyone. And first of all, let me congratulate the team for an excellent conduct of the forum. It was really great. I managed to follow most of the session and I was really impressed. Many, many thanks. Welcome from the APFSD organizing team. We saw that this forum is a preparatory forum for the forum that will happen next year from 28th till 31st of March. And we all welcome to start pinning down in your agenda and getting to participate in the forum that will be held next year in Bangkok and virtually. Just to mention that one of the sessions that we were organizing, the one on the SDG Partnership Report, the Partnership Report is the main document that informed the APFSD. So we managed to gather a lot of information and feedback from the sub-region on specifically goal 4, 5, 14, and 15 with a specific angle of how the pandemic has been affecting the implementation of these goals and the agenda in particular. I wanted to be brief and again, reiterate the appointment to next year. And again, congratulations for the great forum. Do svidania.
Thank you very much, Ricardo, for your view and highlighting the SDG Partnership Report. It's really a very important document and the manifestation of our real partnership with other organizations for the benefit of Asia-Pacific region. Really very important. Thank you very much. And colleagues, I would like to give the floor to Ms. Mirgul Alpesbaeva, Education National Professional Officer of UNESCO. Over to you, Mirgul.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon,
distinguished partners and participants, dear colleagues. First of all, I would like to thank all the colleagues for excellent this forum organization. I want to thank ESCAP colleagues, and I also would like to thank you for your invitation to have me here. Yesterday it was a joint session which was focused on the SDG Forum on high quality education, where we discussed the country's progress in North and Central Asia on SDG 4. We had a number of discussions and presentations on behalf of various stakeholders, and I would like to summarize with a small points. In order to achieve all SDG 4 is playing a key role because education is the foundation for sustainable development, while paying even more attention to the issues of fairness and inclusivity in education. We then can solve other social economic issues on the way to sustainable development. For this, educational system should be relevant and flexible, and also there should be fairness and equality in education. We have to remove barriers on the way to inclusivity and high quality education. We need not only to expand access to education, especially preschooling and early school and education, we also have to improve educational services at all levels. And for this, we need to pay attention on providing high-level, motivated, highly qualified teachers, which have all opportunities for professional development. And finally, increasing investments into education and providing effective and fair distribution of resources, as well as strengthening and enhancing an enlargement partnership in the area of education with all the stakeholders, which is very important for accelerating accomplishment of SDG 4 in the region. Thank you very much.
For your views. I would like now to give the floor to our another good partner with whom we cooperate for many years, and not only for this SDG Forum and previously, Ms. Nargis Azizova, Program Specialist, UN Women, Regional Office for Europe and Central Asia. Over to you, Nargis.
Спасибо большое, Николай. Добрый день, коллеги.
Thank you very much, Nikolay. Dear colleagues, indeed, it is very nice that within this short period of time, with a very limited time for preparation, nevertheless, we've got very good and informative discussion. So I think the outcome is great, and the report which will be prepared by ESCAP on partnership will encompass all those ideas expressed at this forum within these 3 days. I would like to speak about our session on SDG 5. And first of all, I would like to say that it was extremely difficult to encompass all the targets of SDG 5, but we have more focused on employment and economic rights of women, women's empowerment in this area. We do understand that we are living in the very problematic region with a huge number of gaps which have to be bridged in a very short period of time. First of all, that is access to decent employment and equal employment opportunities for women. In our session, we discussed a lot of case studies which were provided by our partners. Very young participants gave us information about their own business models, including with new technologies involvement. We also had a very good presenter. She talked about expanding of her own businesses in terms of providing services on care. The issues of care is a special topic in our discussion because COVID proves not only those gaps which we have, but also demonstrated new development opportunities. And we said that the economy of care, if it will be properly invested and let women to be employed formally in this sector, this is a sector, a very promising one, which could significantly increase economic women's involvement. We also said that the infrastructure for this sector should be developed accordingly, and our region is traditionally has an excess of labor, and this care sector could attract more women, and it will be very useful not only for the women themselves but for the state as well. We also had a very good presentation on behalf of our BRD colleague. He talked about programs aimed to support women in economic sector in Central Asia and Kazakhstan. There were very good statistics on how involvement of women would increase GDP if will be equal opportunity and employment for women. So global GDP will grow by 26%. And of course, these are very promising arguments when we're talking about recovery after the crisis. We also paid attention that currently in our region, women are mostly employed in the most vulnerable sectors of economy. We also talk about the so-called informal employment on half-time. And here we have to speak about decreasing risks which women are exposed to because of the COVID. COVID is a great lesson to learn, and we have to speak how to remove women from informal to formal employment sectors. And actually, COVID for us is not only challenges for us, but also opportunities which we've got. Actually, our economic strategies and plans of actions should consider our way to get out of crisis, and that is why it is very important to see how completely we could introduce gender aspects into these policies and programs. And another important thing is about financing these projects and programs, because in Central Asia and our also Caucasian countries, we have a good legal and political basis. We have strategies and plans of actions regarding women's empowerment in the economy, but whether they are properly financially supported is important in order to not make these programs purely declarative. Of course, we have a number of solutions offered by our young participants. That is why we should pay attention to this. Thank you, UN ESCAP. It was a useful dialogue, and I hope we will continue this dialogue in the framework of our regional meetings.
For your views. It's really very important. Employment of women and gender equality we need to keep in our focus permanently. Yeah, colleagues, next I would like to give the floor to Mr. Mahmoud Shaumarov, Regional Program Coordinator for Kasilm 2 FAO. Over to you, Mahmoud.
Thank you very much, dear organizers, dear participants. It was an honor for me to participate in this forum and present some of the works that we've done in FAO and with our partners. So wrapping up and giving the key message of the session, I would like to say that our session was very interesting and involved different discussions with the different organizations, and we also heard some indigenous people from Tajikistan, how they work on the ground level with biodiversity, and also we have heard our other speakers on the let's say taiga the antelope species, how they were affected by the construction of the railroad. And in the session, I've also presented some lessons from our project, a regional project, on the rehabilitation of the saline areas. And in general, the session showed that SDGs in the region are lagging behind of the key targets that were set in the year 2020, and also some of the targets from 2000 were also not reached yet, unfortunately. And that shows that we need more collaboration in the region with the government partners, with the donors, with the beneficiaries, in different dimensions, at national level, at institutional level, policy level, the legal aspects, and most importantly, to inject more financial resources, more investments into these areas. And this is what we also heard today during the forum today, that there are opportunities for more financial and for more, let's say, projects globally and also in the region. And the key takeaway messages from my side, I would highlight, first of all, the water and land are one of the most important resources in the region, and not only for the agriculture production, but also for the well-being of people now and in the future, for our future generations as well. And unfortunately, the impact of the work that we do today can be in the far future, and we have to learn and involve the expertise that can let's say quantify these effects and let's say investments that are needed for improving and making the use of these resources more sustainable in the long run. And I would also say that speaking in the language of figures with the local policymakers, decision makers is very important, because when we say that this species is under distinction, or this water is contaminated, it doesn't sound very convincing, unfortunately, for them. So we need to somehow quantify and break down to the budgetary terms how much budget it will cost the country, how much GDP will be affected by decreasing or by degrading this land or water resources. And that is one area that we as the FAO will be working more seriously in the region, to work on the economics of land degradation, and also on working more on the collaboration with the partners and with the improving communication. That is very important to involve and increase the ownership of the let's say local people to make the use of the natural resources more sustainable. So these are the key takeaway messages for myself from these sessions. Thank you very much. Excuse me, your microphone.
Nicola, you're muted.
Sorry. Just remind to all speakers that you have 2 minutes for your views sharing, and I kindly request to observe the time. And next speaker, Ms. Aneta Nikolova, Environmental Affairs Officer of ESCAP. Over to you, Aneta.
Приветик всем. Здравствуйте, добрый вечер.
Hello, everyone, distinguished colleagues, friends. I have just 3 big takeaways from our meeting. I'm going to speak English because it will be better for everyone.
The 3 takeaways that I have, I would like to congratulate our team and also the whole team of UN organizations, UN offices, for the fantastic partnership that you've shown for the organization of this sub-regional forum, and engaging so many interesting stakeholders from the region. And all the views of the stakeholders were very well highlighted. People were encouraged to speak. A very good atmosphere of trust and respect was established during the breakout sessions. People were really feeling free and open to share. And this is the spirit of the APFSD and the preparatory meetings. Congratulations, dear colleagues from the whole UN system, and of course with the ESCAP team that has done a fantastic job. Number three, very big takeaway, it's actually a little bit connected to many things, is in the spirit of the work that we've been promoting, that everything, the SDGs have established this interconnectedness. Everything is super connected and we are all connected to each other. Everything we do impacts others. And this came very strong in two sessions that I've been very strongly involved. One of them was on the SDG 14 and 15, which reached out to so many other SDGs. And we saw, and especially dear topic to my heart is the ROC and the impacts of the ROC on the ecosystems around and the livelihoods of people, jobs and food security, health, and actually the spillover of the dust to even to the Himalayas, to the glaciers. And then we saw that the solutions, basically, investments in nature-based solutions, ecosystem restoration is actually solving other very important SDGs, including 13, SDG 4 for education, because you need different type of mentality in your people thinking, SDG 5, women's engagement and impacting also on the growth and the opportunities for development, as well on health 3, food security, so all super interconnected. The other session that I would like to highlight is the financing. Today we heard a lot about financing, and we saw that financing for development, which ESCAP is promoting and is engaging so many other partners, includes financing for climate action, includes also using different economic instruments which are not traditionally environmentally bound, but now very, very useful, even including swaps, debt swaps for climate, for nature, and for investment in natural resources, as well as looking into carbon pricing and developing sub-regional climate finance strategies. They're all having financing for sustainable development impact because they're going to be all together supporting the SDG implementation and also with the green COVID recovery, post-COVID recovery. So that is from my side. Thank you all. And I was very, very honored to be part of this process. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Aneta, for sharing your views. I would like now to give the floor to Mr. Zafar Mahmudov, Executive Director of CAREC, our good partner and good supporter of ESCAP activities in North and Central Asia. Over to you, Zafar.
Добрый вечер, Николай Николаевич.
Good evening, Nikolay Nikolaevich. I would like to, at the end, to share my takeaways, just 2 minutes, couple of minutes. And I would like to say that the discussions during the forum, during these days, proved that COVID pandemic had an impact not only on people's health, but other issues of life and livelihoods of the populations, well-being of the population. With the decline of the health issues, such issues were improved as the quality of air and measures necessary for this, like expanding forest planting at urban areas and the territory around the route to fight, to counteract sand storms and the protection of ecosystems in urban areas and the recovery of RLC ecosystems. And the topicality and urgency of SDG 17 was proven. Partnerships, which was touched upon, addressed by Aneta, that all participants of this issue, government, private sector, civil society, and just residents, people have to join their efforts in order to attain resilient development and sustainable development, which would be resilient to any pandemics. So this is what I just wanted to share. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Zafar. very important issues you touched. And of course, everything, all this will be taken into consideration in our report at ATP Forum for Sustainable Development.
List of speakers who would like to express his views is Mr. Patrick Martin, international expert on climate finance, ESCAP. Over to you, Patrick.
Thank you very much, Nikolay. And again, I'd just like to say it was a real honor and privilege to be part of the forum and such a successful forum. It was very engaging, and many great speakers, both internationally, regionally, and nationally. What I'd like to say is, while the session that I was involved in was essentially on utilizing sustainable finance to bridge the gap to address the SDGs, and it was a great session and while governments continue to strive to meet their commitments to the SDGs, innovative financial instruments and policies can help facilitate sustainable and directly address the SDGs. Advancing the growth of different sustainable finance products, be they green bonds, social bonds, or SDG bonds, is potentially a way to unlock the resources needed to advance the SDGs. And it was identified that this creates great opportunities, but also challenges within the region, fragmentation, and issues around institutional capacity, but that those things can be addressed creatively, and so while there are technical capacity issues and they are a bit uneven across different countries within the region, the full potential for these sustainable finance products and markets remain to be fully tapped, and these gaps in national capacity, if addressed, could significantly help contribute to the potential for these products and markets to help meet the financing gaps. In terms of comments that, I guess the focus was the need for more mainstreaming, a more integrated approach, as there was a sense that there was a bit of fragmentation, and that focus on improvement of the regulatory framework and engagement with the various frameworks and standards. So thanks again. It was a pleasure to be part of such a successful forum. Thank you, Nikolay.
Thank you, Patrick, for your views. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Amir Radfar, consultant and project coordinator of ESCAP. Over to you, Amir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nikolay. And I'm also very lucky to be part of today's closing remarks. On behalf of ESCAP team, I would like to, of course, first congratulate ESCAP Sub-Regional Office for North and Central Asia for this great SDG Forum, and congratulate, of course, everyone participated in this great, actually, meeting and different sessions and discussions, very constructive. I've been giving this opportunity to inform everyone that since 2018, the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, ESCAP, has been working on an initiative project in supporting the countries in a special situation in Asia-Pacific region in meeting the challenges and the issues related to resource mobilization for achieving 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development throughout these 4 years, and this year is the end of the project. This project has tried to provide some customized knowledge support and very tailored analytical works, research and studies, as well as policy recommendations, capacity building activities, institutional strengthening, support to selected countries. However, the project could see clearly that there are no one-size-fits-all countries' strategies to attain sustainable development. As this project comes to an end of this year, on behalf of our project management team at ESCAP Bangkok, I would like to inform everyone at participating in this SDG forum that ESCAP will organize a virtual workshop. Unfortunately, because of COVID, it cannot be in person, but we would like to take this opportunity to invite all the participants and all the network members to participate in this workshop 1st and 2nd December this year, which will focus on 3 main themes: capital markets, digital finance, and climate finance. So that's just opportunity for me as the project coordinator, and on behalf of, as I said, the ESCAP team in Bangkok, to invite everyone to join us for this this meeting. And of course, it will be like the open network for everyone to keep communicating on this very interesting and, of course, very complicated topic, resource mobilization. Thanks again, and we look forward to communicate with the participants in December. Thank you so much, Nikolay. Thank you.
Thank you, Amir. I think most of the audience who attended SDG Forum will join your important workshop.
We hope so. We hope so. We are looking forward to meeting them all. Thank you so much again. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to give the floor to Ms. Sabina Abbasova, Executive Director, Pro KG Community of Professionals. Over to you, Sabina.
Thank you so much, Nikolay. First and foremost, I would like to thank for organizing such an amazing forum and discussion, to all of the organizers, to everyone who has contributed to making it happen today. I think there were some really interesting discussions in all terms, and in our discussion we were talking about SDG 17, which is Partnership for the Goals. And I truly believe that this one is something that unites also all the previous SDGs and all the goals, basically. We talked a lot about different ideas in order to strengthen the cooperation and partnership in all terms, in all sectors, government, private, public sectors all together, about the need of making research and development, innovations, community building, trust and understanding, digital transformation happening. And I believe we are making a great step further in this case, but I think we have still a long way to go, and this is amazing that we have such a platform to be discussing and sharing all of our ideas and experiences. So once again, I would like to say congratulations to the team, and thank you all for inviting us today to be a part of this amazing event, and looking forward for the next ones in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sabina. And now I would like to give the floor to our co-hoster of this SDG Forum, Mr. Atajan Ataev, Head of the Department of Strategic and Sustainable Development, Ministry of Finance and Economy of Turkmenistan. Over to you, Atajan.
Спасибо, господин Помощников.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pomoshnikov, distinguished participants. We are very glad to be the co-organizers of this forum, which truly becomes very informative and fruitful. I would like to thank the Executive Secretary of UN ESCAP. I would like to thank you, Nikolay Pomoshnikov, all the speakers, participants, and of course interpreters for their excellent performance. Within this 3 days, we spoke about the current situation with the SDGs implementation in North and Central Asia and the COVID-19 pandemic and its aftermath. We also focusing on the permanent and emerging challenges which impact on SDGs implementation and specific solutions for speeding up SDGs implementation. The participants shared their experience on SDGs implementation and their voluntary national reports progress. Further on, this will be presented at the top-level political forum on SDGs, which will be in 2022. Also at the forum, we spoke about 5 goals, which are the main of the top political forum agenda. And I hope that this forum will help our countries to enhance sub-regional cooperation in various areas in order to cope with the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic and successfully accomplished 2030 development agenda with the main motto, no one leaves behind. Thank you, Atajan, for your vision and for your high forum assessment. And I also would like to join your kind words. And I also want to thank all the participants and organizers of this forum on behalf of the Turkmen government. And specifically, I want to thank the minister for his kind support and for his active involvement, and the tone which was set up with his welcoming remarks on the first day, of course, contributed to a very fruitful discussions within all 3 forum days. Specifically, I want to thank all my colleagues and partners on behalf of the UN family organizations, DCO and RCO offices, which also supported us, and they were very active in moderating various sessions. And of course, we would not be able to have such a successful forum without active support of our partners on behalf of the sub-regional organizations. For instance, that is Economic Cooperation Organizations and Eurasian Economic Commission, multilateral financial institutions such as the ADB and the BRD, this Bank, all of them actively support us, and this gave us an opportunity to discuss at the expert level greater details of various issues associated with the 2030 agenda, including specific topics for sustainable development.
All partners, to the government of Turkmenistan and to our colleagues for the support and contribution to this important forum, which will report to Asia Pacific Forum for Sustainable Development and the HLPF as final destination. And I would like also to express our gratitude to all ESCAP colleagues, to the whole team who was involved in organization of this forum, to Natalia, Patricia, Elvira, and all Songkra staff who made the success of this forum. Thank you very much, and special compliment to interpreters and to other organizers. Thank you very much.
So maybe, dear participants, as we truly have come to the end of the forum, those of you who wish could maybe switch the cameras on and we can wave each other goodbye, and my colleague will try and take one last parting picture. So please switch your cameras on. I see you're still smiling. That is good. So you can raise your hand. My colleague is switching through the panes, and then once that's done, we should have a photo of everybody. Okay, thank you so much. See you again next year. And until then, let's collaborate and move the SDGs forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, everybody.
All the best to everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.